Hello, good morning. Now we are going to finish our short story by Edgar Allan Poe. We have been discussing from the beginning and almost 4 classes we have taken, and we need 2 more classes so that the denouement or catastrophe of the story will be finished. Better we consider the climax. What is going to happen between Roderick Usher and Victor Reynolds? In between, Roderick's sister was totally weak and she is reported to be dead, and they buried her to be kept a fortnight in the house. And the house, as you know, we are considering it is a haunted house like that. And even Roderick himself seems to be a haunted man like. Now we come to page number 80. That at times again I was obliged to resolve all into mere inexplicable vagaries of madness. Victor came to know almost Roderick is almost mad in the sense, for I beheld him gazing upon the vacancy of long hours. For so many hours, our Victor has been observing Roderick. Though he was his friend, he had no that much affinity with him. So he had been observing and looking, what type of man is this? Attitude, it was no wonder that his condition terrified. Roderick's condition terrified. Even to look at him will make him fearful. Our Victor Reynolds is totally worried and totally terrified. Even to look at him, that infected me, that slowly his bad condition slowly begins to infect me, he says. I felt creeping upon me by slow in certain degrees that a wild influence of his own fantastic yet impressive superstitions. Roderick, reported by Reynolds, Roderick had so many superstitions and blind beliefs. So almost his superstitions and blind beliefs slowly began to affect the narrator. It was especially upon retiring to bed late in the night, 7th day after the placing the Lady Madeline's with Don John, you're right, innermost room of the palace, or innermost room of the castle, or the house of Usher. They had kept Madeline's dead body in a particular coffin and kept for fortnight, for which so many reasons Roderick executed there. Now that night our Reynolds cannot sleep, because in such a way, such an atmosphere, fearful atmosphere, he has been feeling inside the house along with Roderick. Very difficult to find. So Reynolds telling what he cannot sleep. Though he tried much to sleep, he cannot sleep. It was the 7th and 8th day, I do remember. 8th day of the burial time, I experienced the full power of such feelings. Sleeping came not near my couch. Underline, that is figurative language. Some people like, we also lose our sleep once we have tension. Otherwise, you take a cup of coffee after 8 o'clock in the night, you cannot sleep. Sleep won't touch your brain. You will be sleeping, trying to sleep. Sleep won't touch your eyes. So that is why psychologists says never drink such regenerating or motivating drinks after the evening. If you take, otherwise you experiment yourself. Take a cup of strong coffee after 8 o'clock and try to sleep. Guaranteed no sleep would touch you. Sleep came not near my couch. Sleep did not come to my bed. While hours waned and wind away, I struggled to reason the nerves which dominion over me. I endeavored to believe that endeavored means tried. I tried myself to believe much of that I will due to bewildering influence of gloomy furniture of the room. I was just like a devil. I was just like a horse trying to sleep on the couch and thinking the responsibility of my sleeplessness is based on the roof of the house, irregular keeping of the tables in the house, so many other things affected my sleep. Basically or fundamentally telling, our narrator cannot sleep at all because he thinks either some haunted devils are there, or even Madeline, probably buried inside the house, would appear one day or another day. Dark and tattered draperies which tortured me to motion by breath of rising tempest swayed fitfully to rustled fruitless. But my all efforts were fruitless, though I tried much. I cannot sleep. An irrepressible tremor gradually pervaded my frame. My frame means my room or bedroom where I want to sleep. Sat upon my heart and in cups of utterly causeless shaking his way of gasp and struggle, I uplifted myself on the pillows. Again, I tried to sit on my bed without sleep. Peering earnestly with intense darkness of chamber, hearkened I know not why except the instinctive spirit prompted me, underline a spirit or a bad host appearing in the house would wake him up. Overpowered by intense my clothes with haste, I was to wear for pitiable condition to which I had fallen by pacing rapidly to and fro through the apartment. What does it show? The total atmosphere created very awesome and very fearful. Our observer or our narrator Victor Reynolds, protagonist, cannot sleep. Like a madman in the midnight, he begins to walk to and fro inside the bedroom. What happens later? Let us see. I had taken but a few turns in manner while I step off a adjoining staircase arrested my attention. All of a sudden, through my door, I looked at another staircase of the house which attracted my attention. I presently recognized that fissure. Then I thought it is the our friend's room, Roderick's room. In an instant afterwards, he rapped, R-A-P-P-E-D, rapped means knocked. Then at the door, somebody was knocking, rapping with a gentle touch at my door, indeed bearing a lamp. Roderick had carried a lamp, just like in the old devil stories, keeping some people candles like a lamp. The total appearance of Roderick with the lamp and even the midnight knocking at my bedroom, I wondered why this is happening here. His countenance as usual cadaverously, a technical word that shows deadly looking. You might have seen or watched Hollywood movies. What movie? What movies that dead people walk in the midnight? That you people have to watch a Hollywood movie. There are lot of devils coming, targeting a particular house to attack where one lady and a child is only living there. And in the midnight, this story, all right, in the cinema, what is called movie, all buried people are from cemetery coming to attack. that you have to watch. In such a situation, our Roderick house is a demented house, which is just like a devil's living house, haunted house, where now Roderick and our Reynold living beings living there, and all together giving an atmosphere of haunted house with a symmetrical attitude. So all of a sudden this knocking sound woke me or woke our Reynold up, and he looked just like a dead body standing, dead man walking in the cinema, like he is standing in front of the door with a lamp. His countenance was cadaverously, I told look like a dead body. But moreover, you come to page number 81, there was a species of hilarity. Hilarity means joy in his eyes, and evidently restrained hysteria. But altogether, looking and watching him, I understood he has become hysterical. Hysterical means what? Hysterical. Sometimes you will be also hysterical after the results are out. Okay, some people will be calling you, though you failed 2-3 subjects, you will become hysterical. What is the meaning of hysterical? In the sense that what to do next nobody knows. That is technical definition of hysterical attitude. What moment, what next, who will do, nobody knows. Our Roderigo becomes hysterical looking, out of restrained hysteria and whole demeanor. His air appalled me. Air means behavior in look. Air, not in the ordinary sense in the hair. Air means what we call bhavam, what we call Malayalam. Alright, his air appalled me, made me wonder. Anything was preferable solitude which had long endured. I never welcomed his presence as a relief. Though he is diabolic in nature, though he is very bad in nature, hysterical nature, I keep some times of relief in his presence. In the next paragraph, Roderick says, and you have not seen it? Just like he asking, and you have not seen it? Reynold wondered, what is this man asking? You have not seen it so far. You have not. आपने नहीं देखा? Did you? Haven't you ever seen it? What is that? I wondered. He said abruptly after having stared me up some moments of silence. You have not seen that. So far you have not seen. You shall thus speak. Otherwise don't worry. Within a moment you will see, Roderick reported. If you have not seen that matter, if you have not witnessed that matter, within short time you will see. What is matter? Thus speaking, having carefully shut his lamp, he hurried to one of the casements and threw it freely open to the storm. That time, a type of storm was hitting the house. It is totally an atmosphere of dangerous situation. What may happen at any moment? All the midnight devils and hosts and spirits will come from the graveyard. Even in the house itself, Madeline's dead body is buried. So our writer, our Victor Reynold, wondered what is happening in the midnight here, I don't know. The impetuous fury of enraged guest nearly lifted from feet. It was a tempestuous and beautiful night. It was a very really beautiful night, but spoiled my sleep. One wild singular, the terror beauty, a whirlwind had apparently collected in force. What the writer wants to give you an impression that not merely inside the house, outside the house is also very bad situation. Though it is a very starry night, a tufan, a type of whirlwind, a type of what is called chulilikate, a type of whirlwind was burning there. Violent alterations of density did not prevent our pacing life like velocity. There were no glimpses of moon on the stars. Sometimes we will see stars, sometimes we will see moons, but all of a sudden whirlwind will dominate or swallow it. A figurative language he uses. Were flashing for the light, but the under surface is masses agitated vapor as well as a terrestrial object immediately around were glowing the unnatural light, faintly luminous, distinct visible gases exhalation hung above the enshrined mansion. All the palace, or the house of Usher is totally covered by shadows, and a dark night on the one side, on the whirlwind is on the other side. Altogether very much very fearful situation. You must not. I suddenly I led him. I told Usher, do not stand here. Gentle violence from the window to see it. I took him from the window side to another seat. These appearances which bewilder mere electrical phenomena are not uncommon. Don't worry, what is going outside is something electrical problem. No worry. Then I advised our Usher. It may not be habitually. It is a miasma of the tongue, bad at night having. It is an atmosphere, bad atmosphere, miasma. Let us close this gazement, the air chilling of dangerous of your fame. Here is one of your favorite romances. Understanding the bad situation, understanding the condition of Usher, our Reynold told, don't worry, my dear friend. In this particular night, both of us, you also do not sleep. I can also not sleep. So what shall we do? I will read a beautiful romantic novel to you, which is kept here. I will read for you. So from my reading, you can easily understand. I will read and you shall listen. So we will pass away this terrible night together. So don't worry, Usher. We will pass this night very easily. I will read a romantic novel which you like very much. From yourself, I will collect one novel and will begin to read and translate to you. The antique volume which I had taken underline Mad Tryst of Sir Lancelot Canning. Mad Tryst. It is the book written by Lancelot Canning. I had called it a favorite of Usher. He had told me about this book earlier, and I consider that he loves this book very much. More in sadness than earnest. For truth there is little uncouth in unimagined prolixity that which could have been interest for lofty and spiritual ideality. It was the only book immediately at hand. When I searched in the shelf, my hands fell on this particular book. It was the only book immediately at hand, and in the vague, it had a hypothetical might be relieve the history, extremeness of folly. Could I have judged Woodruck of an air of vivacity that apparently hearkened to the words of tale? I had arrived at the well-known of the portion story of Ethelred. Underline the character. Ethelred is the protagonist of this particular romantic novel. So regarding Ethelred, the hero of the story, regarding Ethelred, our Reynold begins to talk too much. Hero of the tryst, which peacefully at mission dwelling the hermit proceed to make a good entrance by force. It is a small summary of the story is given by reading, taking this passage from the novel, putting here. The summary goes like that. Ethelred is a hero who tries to visit a mansion, a particular palace of a hermit, where a particular dragon is kept there. If you kill the dragon and take a particular shield, that would give you everything. It is a type of an epic story that has been put in this romantic novel. It will be remembered the words of narrative run goes now page number 82, last para taken from the novel. And Ethelred, who was by nature toughly character, Ethelred is a tough character, who is mighty of withal on account of powerfulness which is had drunken, no longer old paltry with the hermit, queen, smooth and obstinate in maliceful. Maliceful means one who tries to do bad things in the world. Feeling rain upon the shoulders, fearing the rise of the tempest, uplifted his mace outright with the blows. He had bought a very big mace. You know, mace in Malayalam, what he, just like a beeman carries gada like mace, he was bringing to destroy the palace, planking the door, planting, kicking the door, gauntlet hand, now pulling here with outstridely, as under the nose of the dry hollow hound in the illumined and overbaited throughout the forest. At the termination of this sentence, I started in a moment post. After reading the story this much, I deliberately stopped the area. And I watched our usher. Usher face was damned like. It appeared to me for very portion of a mansion there came instantly to my ears might have to very be cracking, ripping sound which Sir Lancelot had so particularly described. Sir Lancelot, the novel, romantic novel, he has written all right in such a way that every Buddha would create an atmosphere. It was beyond doubt coincident that which I had all my attention, for amid rattling of the shutters of casement, ordinary commingled noises. At the same time, our Victor Reynolds was getting some bad noises from the different rooms of the palace or house of Usher. So it has been coincidentally connected. So whatever it is there, happening there. So it is happening. So what is going to happen in the next scene, that we will see. Till that moment, thanks a lot.